So what you saw right there is something that I see all the time when I go up to play at recreational courts. When I'm in a dink battle with someone that's like really impatient and is always looking to speed up the ball, I feel really confident because all I'm doing is just sitting there waiting to counter that ball. I trust my dinking to keep that ball low, and as soon as they're trying to speed up a low ball, I know it's gonna pop up right into my sweet spot and I'm gonna be able to kill that ball. So in today's video, what I really wanna talk about is how to remain patient on the court. To do so, I have my good friend Connor here who's gonna help us do some drills, but when I play against him, he tends to get really impatient. So what we're gonna do is work on getting Connor patient on the court and make sure that he stays consistent and confident with his dinking so that his patience can take him to the next level. So what do I mean when I say pickleball is a patient game? Patience really comes down to you slowing your body down, taking your time, and controlling the game as much as you can. It's really important that you stay patient because pickleball is such a small court and really compact sport that it's really easy to just miss the ball, hitting it over, hitting it into the net, being impatient and popping the ball up. So what you really want to do is compose yourself, remain calm. It's okay to play really long rallies because you're waiting for that perfect moment to attack the ball and win the point. Until you get that moment, it's your job to just stay in the point and control your opponent to the point where they're gonna pop the ball up and they're gonna be the first one to speed it up. I always say, first person to speed the ball up will almost always lose the point. So it's really important that you be there, patient in the kitchen, waiting for that perfect opportunity to strike, and as soon as you get that, kill that ball and win the game.
I feel a lot of anxiety when I get into longer rallies and I don't know what to do with the ball. People have been telling me to dink middle, right? But then the guy gets that and hits it perfectly. Then I dink wide, he doesn't still pop it up. So I really don't even know how to get those pop-ups that I'm desiring. I don't know exactly what to do.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on 3 really specific things that's gonna help you train your brain to remain patient on the court and really help you get to that next level. So the first thing we're gonna work on is repetition. Repetition really helps you just build your confidence in your strokes and really help you get really good reps on your shots so that when you step on court, you don't lose that patience. So we're just gonna dink back and forth and make sure you're confident in your strokes and trust that your shots are gonna go where you want them to. The more reps that you get in your shots, the more confident you're gonna get. It's definitely going to improve your confidence, and confidence goes a long way to increasing your patience on court. So the second thing that we're going to practice is focusing our brain. We're going to focus on our next shot, right? So what happens most of the time when we're playing a game is we're trying to think 5-6 steps ahead, and we're trying to figure out when to speed up the ball, when to wait for the counter, and so many other things that's going to distract us on the court. So what we're really going to do to help us train patience is we're simply going to focus on the next shot. Where am I gonna hit it? How am I gonna hit it? Am I adding topspin, backspin, whatever it is, just focus on that next dink. As long as you can train your brain to simply focus on that next dink, the less likely you are to think about speeding it up and popping it up. If you think you wanna hit a forehand topspin, think about that. If you're trying to hit a slice shot, think about that. Just figure out where you're gonna dink that next ball, and that's all you're gonna think about. Focusing on the next ball really helps you just train your patience because all you're doing is just watching the ball and letting your paddle do the talking. All right, Connor, now before we go into this third tip, I want you to be honest with me. Right now, I know you have great drives, you have a really good kitchen game, and you trust your dinks, but what do you think are your weaknesses right now?
My weakness for sure is what I was mentioning before, that I get anxious the longer the rally goes on. And I don't know exactly where to put my dinks to put my opponent on the defense. And I also don't know what to do when I get put on the defense, how to hit like a dink reset or keep the kitchen neutral.
So that's exactly what we're gonna train. Our third tip is really just training your weaknesses. What really happens when you're on the court is anytime I attack your weaknesses, that's where you're gonna have the feeling of anxiety where you just wanna speed that ball up because you're so afraid that your weaknesses are getting exploited. So what we're simply gonna do is just train whatever your weaknesses are so that now those become your strengths and now you feel so much more confident just remaining patient and playing your shots. Now going back to your weaknesses, I know you said you struggled a little bit with your resets and you don't have a lot of confidence in it. So here's what we're gonna do to simply train your resets. The biggest thing is your footwork. You really wanna set your feet. So you're just gonna shadow me and we're gonna go ahead and just figure out how to hit perfect resets, right? So what we're gonna do first is use our feet to really get low, have a stable base. Anytime you can just bend your knees and get low, you're gonna feel a lot more confident on the court because now you can just let your arm and your paddle do the work. If you're moving too hard, that's when you miss a lot of resets because you're using too much of your body. Now, if you want to stay consistent with your resets, the next thing you want to do is get low and make sure you have soft hands. Anytime you have a rigid wrist and you're really trying to jerk on that ball, it's more likely that that ball is going to pop up or hit the net. If you can simply have soft hands, loosen that wrist a little, and like really let go, you're going to be able to simply soften that ball up, open that paddle face, and put that ball back into the kitchen. The last thing we want to do is overplay one side. I personally like to defend backhand because my backhand arc gives me the leeway to cover balls all the way from the left side to the right side without having to switch over to my forehand. Anytime I'm on my forehand, my body's in the way, so I really can't get to my left side because my body just jams me up. So instead of getting chicken winged, I really like to hit most of my resets with my backhand. So when you're in a reset situation, get low, open that paddle face, soften your hands, and use your backhand arc to simply pop that ball back over the net and back into the kitchen. If you can do that, you're gonna have phenomenal resets. All right, Connor, we're simply gonna work on that reset. So get low, use your backhand, soft wrist, soft hands, and simply open that face up to get that ball back into the kitchen. Anytime I hit the ball really close to your feet, try to take that ball out of the air because you don't want that ball getting too low. The higher you can contact the ball, the easier it is to get the ball over the net. So how do you feel now that we drilled that reset and really made you feel confident about that shot? Do you trust yourself with that?
Yeah, I feel like in the points, I mentally understand now that if I'm being attacked, I have a shot that I can use to reset what's going on, so I don't have to feel like I immediately have to hit fast or something. I can hit a soft one, reset the point, make it neutral, and be okay. I know I'm not gonna like perfect it in one day, but I definitely understand that I can leverage this shot every time I go out for rec games, if I'm in practice, you know, things like that. So I know what to work on now, and I don't feel as clueless.
The more repetition and practice you get with those 3 tips, the repetition, focusing your brain, and training your weaknesses, the more confident you're going to be on court, and that confidence will directly translate into you being more patient on the court. Thanks, Connor. It was a pleasure having you. I hope you all enjoyed that video. We really wanted to show you what it was like sitting in on a coaching session and really talking through stuff that bothers you on the court and really helps you improve your game and take you to that next level. As always, I've been BK. You can follow me at BK_Pickleball on Instagram and YouTube, and make sure to subscribe to CliffPickleball below. Till then, I'll see you next time.